think I just found the craziest / creepiest thing I've ever found in my house, currently in my basement. And yeah, let's take a look at this. So I'm putting insulation up in the rim joists, and I have this little crawl space area that juts off my basement. So I crawled up there to take some measurements, and I'm going to show you what I found. Okay, so we're up in the crawl space now. Sorry, it's really tight getting back here. And I see this hole, and I decide to look inside to see what's in here, right? And I have a headlamp on right now and my phone light, and I cannot see the bottom. I am not joking. And yeah, I think it's like an old well or something. My house was built in 1890, but yeah, that's pretty crazy, isn't it?
I don't know, guys. You better check your house. Make sure there's no hidden wells or whatever that is in there. Pretty creepy to think, though, that it is in the bottom of his basement where he's been at, and no one has told him about any of this. So, don't know. What do you guys think? Should he explore it?
I'm guessing you've all seen the videos about how our timelines are messed up. Like how it doesn't make sense in my brain that Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire. But there's so many more of these weird history overlaps that I want to share with you today. And you already know that if you love the dark and spooky, you'll love the podcast. This one really got me, but Ruby Bridges, the first Black child to attend an all-white school, is still alive. And she's not even 70 years old yet. John Tyler, the 10th president of the United States, had a grandson that died in 2020. Charlie Chaplin and Ludacris, alive at the same time. Harriet Tubman was born in Thomas Jefferson's lifetime and died in Ronald Reagan's lifetime. This one is absolutely the craziest to me, but Betty White was born 7 years before Anne Frank. And T-Rexes were around closer to humans than to Stegosauruses. Basically, they were around closer to iPhones than to other dinosaurs. And last but not least, Helen Keller died the year Tony Hawk was born.
Man, there's a lot of things that we think was that far away, you know, but man, just crazy to think that, you know, all those things, which, you know, the girl who was going to the first desegregated school was insane, crazy.
No people built the pyramids.
No people?
No.
Who built them?
No people built the pyramids. And if you look around the world, you see certain telltale things that let you know that advanced machinery was in usage. So, yes, thousands of years worth of people were there, but that doesn't have anything to do with the building of it.
Who do you think built it?
Well, understand, we know enough now to understand that this was a complex. We've been led to believe that this is how much they worshipped their dead bodies.
Right.
But the evidence doesn't show any of that.
No, it doesn't.
Like when you see inside, when they have those intricate carvings and paintings and stuff in gold and stuff, you have to remember this is in a windowless room, folks. There's no candle soot. There's no this. It's clearly a power plant and built specifically for that location on this planet. For
what do you think it was powered
usage.
by?
The hot water springs underneath.
So it was powered by the hot water springs? How do you know all this, first of all?
So I've heard of frequencies mixed with elements that cause electricity for these pyramids. Tesla also thought they were power plants, and they actually have found during like a radar type thing where they saw underneath the pyramids that there's coils and a whole world down there. So crazy.
Okay. I'm just sharing this with you, and like I said, this is something that is an intern that really changed my life. I had a patient got stabbed in the heart. When I walked in the ER because I was on the ER, but the surgeon had his chest cracked open, and he had his finger in the guy's heart. And they pronounced him dead. He was a young man, maybe 22, 23 years old. Drug deal that went bad. He died, and the surgeon was a Christian, Dr. Forster to be exact, said, we're not going to let him go without a fight. So he took him to the OR, took him to surgery, pumped him full of blood, got a pulse, tied the hole in his heart up with a suture. And since I was on the surgery unit, I had to wait until he woke up. After about 4 hours, the guy woke up, and he looked me in the eye, and he grabbed me, and he started crying, sobbing, and he said, I met the devil. And I said, what do you mean you met the devil? He said, I saw you working on me. I was dead. I never prayed. And he could feel, he went straight down into hell. And he said he looked in the eyes of the devil, and he prayed. He said he never prayed before. It was never spiritual. And he said, please God, I'll change my life. And he felt an angel or a hand pull him back up. And that's when he awoke. And it was the most amazing experience because he was legit. I mean, no one makes up something like that. And last I heard, he's completely changed his life. He gave his life to God. And I still, to this day, the look in his eye when he woke up, the terror, I'm absolutely convinced that he did meet the devil. And once again, I've not followed up on where he's at now, but I heard he's doing really good. And if I can get that information, I'll get it for you.
Okay. What was your reaction when the doctor told you that they were going to sew him back up? And
I thought he was crazy because the guy bled out. He was dead. There was blood on the ceiling because he got stabbed in the heart, blood all around him. He had no pulse. He was lifeless. And the Christian doctor said, Dr. Forster, we're going to take him and we're going to try to revive him. And it was actually miraculous because the guy was dead. He completely bled out. And you don't open someone's chest in the ER, stick your finger in a hole. That's a last-ditch effort. And I thought he was crazy, but now in retrospect, it happened for a reason. And that basically changed my whole outlook on medicine. And that was when I was a young intern back in 1989.
wow.
It was this amazing spiritual experience, and the guy was legit. And once again, no one goes through something like that and makes that up. Especially that's the first thing he said when he woke up. And by looking at the terror in his eyes, he did meet the devil. I am convinced of that.
Amen.
Yep.
Okay.
And I want to write more stuff for you, and I want to get together with you. I do.
Okay.
Amazing. And if I can ever get the records for this guy, I'd like to be able to do a book and have documentation would be the right way to do it.
Absolutely unbelievable story. Man, but it happened according to that doctor, which he seemed coherent. Didn't seem like he was off his rocker or anything, but man, you hear all kinds of life after death stories that are insane. So it makes you think, definitely makes you think. What is after this?
Giants. I want to talk to you about giants.
Whoa!
Have you heard of Lovelock, Nevada?
No.
They found a cave called the Lovelock Cave. They came across many skeleton remains. The majority of them were giant skeletons with red hair.
Weird.
These skulls, they were in a museum for a while, but
How
as
big
of
are these skulls?
they said like from 7 to 9 feet tall.
Golly.
These skeletons were.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like these skulls were like double that of our skulls. This is where it gets crazy. The Paiute people, it was the granddaughter of the chief wrote a book about the Paiute people. And in this book, she talks about the Paiute people for years and years were at war with the giant people. And these giant people lived in the mountains in Nevada, and they had long red hair, and they were cannibals. Like, they would come and kill the Paiutes and then bring them up to the mountains and eat them. And so they're at constant war with these giant people, the Paiute people.
Yeah.
They started winning, and it was brought down to, like, I guess it would be 45 remaining giants or whatever, who the Paiute people chased into a cave. This is all in her book.
Man. Hey, fighting giants, not my thing, but sounds like they put up a hell of a fight. But for them to have bones, find bones in caves and artifacts and pictures and drawings and things like that, and, giants in the Bible, who knows? Who knows?
I have a ghost story. It's the realest thing I've ever experienced in my life. I collect Native American artifacts. And so my buddy and I, we went one afternoon. We find some stuff. I go home, don't think anything about it. I lived in a cabin in the middle of the woods. Went to bed sober. I woke up, my kitchen window had been unlatched and pushed open.
Dude, what?
My wife had bought this mirror. And so she and I hung this mirror. We looked at it really good and we were like, okay, good, go to bed. The next day, the mirror's got a giant scratch across the freaking mirror.
Dude.
So there was 1 week that I woke up every single night at 2:59 on the freaking dot. The last night I woke up, borderline having a panic attack. My heart was racing, I was sweating, and I turned my lamp on and I put my feet on the side of the bed and I stand up. When I stood up, something jumped from that balcony to the floor and it ran through my house. To the point where I grabbed my gun, dude, and I freaking racked that thing and I freaking vetted my entire house because it was so real that I was convinced that somebody was in my house. And dude, there was nothing.
So scared, right?
Dude, there was literally
That is the scariest image.
This is how specific it was. I heard the wood crack from the hands, the pressure, and then a second of pause, and then the thud shook my windows.
Like a human size.
1,000%. So we didn't tell anybody about this. And my buddy, I finally told him, he was like, man, one night I woke up and my dog was barking. She never barks. And he was like, I woke up and I heard a thud downstairs. He said something had opened his freaking Arrowhead case where his, like, the stuff that he found that day was in his Arrowhead case.
What?
I swear on my life.